everyone, happy Friday. How you doing, Cyril?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, my man. It's been a crazy week around here. As you can see, we've changed house a little bit. So, still not totally done, but it's getting there.
Nice. I look forward to seeing it when it's all completed.
Thank you. I've been posting pictures of the whole remodeling process, trying to take things to the next level, some better lighting, just a little more cool, a little more fun environment. And that's what I want to create here.
Well, with me, you just get the standard black backdrop, so deal with it.
I was going to ask you, when are we going to change that black backdrop to something more lively? We need a big parrot back there, something really cool.
Maybe someday. We'll see.
That works. So, hey, want to say hi to everybody. Sorry we're running a minute late. I was hanging out with you bonks. Love the man, love the community. I'm sure they'll be filtering in here shortly. And, of course, we have Lynn, my lovely wife. Good to see you, my dear. And anybody else, throw it in the comment down there. Let's get rock and rolling. Let's have some fun. Cyril's just dead quiet there. I was waiting for a response.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, let's go. Sorry.
Somebody give that man some coffee.
It's been a long day, all right?
I can relate to that. I understand. I've done more work in the last few days just on this room than I have probably in the last 2 months. The physical, the body is like, I'm getting old. Okay, this kind of sucks. So let's see. The only person I see in there is Lynn. So anybody else? Definitely throw a comment in there, say hello, let us know you're here. And yes, there will be a giveaway. For anybody who doesn't know, on Embark show, he always does his show about 2 hours before this one. So always tune in over there. And I was lucky enough to win a $20 giveaway. I was going to have a giveaway anyway, but now the $10 in Ethereum I was going to give away, I'm also going to give away that $20 that I just won to one of you. So stay tuned till the end because total we're going to be giving away $30 right here in Rags to Riches.
Nice.
Paul, good to have you, buddy.
Welcome, Paul.
Welcome. So, So, Cyril, let's get into this. Right now, the market has been bloody. The news is crazy. Everybody's running like, what the hell are we doing? So, tell us the news. How has that affected our holdings up to this point in time?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's definitely a good topic conversation to have before we start delving into our usual scheduled activities here on Rags to Riches. So unless your head has been under a rock lately, you're aware that the SEC, with good old Gary Gensler, has decided to sue Binance and sue Coinbase for selling unregistered securities. Now, in this situation, for Binance, this is only affecting Binance US, right? It's not affecting the main Binance. Now, as a little reminder, if you do still have funds on Binance US, you are being urged to move it before the 13th, at which they are having their accounts locked, essentially. So, 1 second.
Right. And now, for those who don't know, I'm a huge proponent. I'm in America, just like Cyril is, and I'm a huge proponent of America itself, the freedom, the land of the brave, all that. My brother served in Desert Storm, Desert Shield. My wife is a veteran of the Army. My son is a veteran of the Army, served in Afghanistan. And so, yes, our whole family has been very proponent. This is the first time in my life, I have to say, I'm embarrassed to be an American. I really am, because our leaders are so ignorant. And I personally think they're manipulating the system. I think they're trying to say, oh, look how horrible and terrible this is. We're going to protect you. But they're doing that by taking this big boot and stepping on the little people and taking a big stick and taking out all the opportunity for them. So honestly, for me personally, I'm kind of embarrassed of that. But is it holding me back? Absolutely not. Anytime I see these figureheads of power saying, oh, don't do this, first thing I'm going to do is oh, I'm doing that. Absolutely. Because they're trying to control me. They're trying to oppress me. It's no, to me, that is not okay. Now, this is not financial advice. I can't tell you what to do or what not to do. For me personally, when they say, don't do this, I'm going even harder at it. And so, yes, I'm more dedicated to crypto now than ever before.
It's like the Jim Cramer signal. Anything he says, do the opposite of, right?
Yep, you got it.
But in this situation, the lawsuit against Coinbase isn't really going to hold much water, in my opinion, because, and Serenity, check the stream chat. So I don't think it's going to hold much water due to the fact that they're trying to sue Coinbase for selling unregistered securities, right? But they approved Coinbase to IPO. And the unregistered securities that they are claiming that they were selling took place prior to the approval to IPO.
Right.
So in order, like, the SEC is almost straight up telling us all that their entire team is massively incompetent. You approved a company to IPO, and now you're trying to go back and say that they were doing illegal things, right?
Right.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Again, I've said it before, not here on Rags to Riches, but I'll say it again. I believe that the SEC is throwing lawsuits at anyone and everyone because they are desperately trying to create case precedent. Once they have established some case precedent, one of these lawsuits goes to trial, and then the SEC wins. Then it establishes that case precedent that they can use to go after, set regulations, set the precedent of how all of these sort of situations will be handled moving forward. And so I think they're just throwing that all out there, seeing what sticks, hoping something sticks. Must be nice to be able to just throw all that money away on frivolous lawsuits. And
on top of, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that it would be great if we could all start a class action lawsuit against the SEC for market manipulation.
No shit. Yeah. What the hell is with that? I mean, that's insane. And yeah, I agree. They're doing this whole shotgun effect, hoping they hit something. They're like, okay, shoot, boom. Nope, didn't hit nothing. Let's try again. And they're doing that with our taxpayers' money. I mean, we're already in debt. I mean, our whole government is just wrecked. Let's just throw a whole bunch more money at something and pray to God something hits so we can maybe control someone somewhere for something. Oh, dear God. These are our leaders. How the hell who gave them power? This is, yeah. So, Paul, I agree. It all comes down to the school system. They're trying to control us, and they are. And honestly, I have to admit, in a way, we are somewhat accountable for this. Anytime something goes wrong, we've grown into these sue-happy people. I can sue and make millions. And, well, you know what? They've kind of set that precedence, and we've allowed ourselves to be guided that direction. Say, oh, well, we're going to protect you because obviously you can't handle a hot coffee cup without spilling in your lap and getting millions of dollars. So we've kind of set that precedence here, guys. So now, unfortunately, it's kind of biting us in the ass. So biggest thing there, don't lose hope. Hey, Dave, good to have you, buddy.
You'll have to find a new example because that McDonald's coffee cup lawsuit and everything that everyone likes to throw around as a frivolous lawsuit, that was a smear campaign by McDonald's against the lady. So the coffee was actually incredibly hot, like way hotter than it should have been, and the lid was not properly attached, and all she asked McDonald's to do was to cover the medical costs. That is it. And then McDonald's went on this massive smear campaign spreading these little rumors about it being a frivolous lawsuit. Just throwing that out there.
Good, thank you. See, I didn't realize that. So hey, once again, I learned something new from the master. Thank you.
So
Dave,
Paul,
good to have you.
Paul, I do think that Coinbase will be okay. Coinbase is really rather integral, right, to the crypto industry. More so, I think, than Binance. Binance is integral to DeFi. Coinbase is integral to crypto as a whole. And I think especially, it's very interesting timing because there's a lot of firms out there that are looking to essentially launch like crypto ETFs and things like that, such as TD Ameritrade, Merrill Lynch, etc. They're getting ready to release their ETFs. And how nice would it be if their buddies over at the SEC went and market manipulated, tanked the prices so that they would be able to essentially bootstrap their ETFs at a lower value to print nice, happy returns for themselves and all of their investor buddies.
Yep, exactly. And there's just so many things going on that we don't know the full story. The biggest thing is do your own due diligence, make up your own minds, but don't believe in the FUD. So there's a lesson. And before I get into this, I want to switch gears real quick here, Cyril. Sorry. I want to say shout out to Mom. Mom Sandy, love you to death. That is my actual mom. And yes, she is here in the crypto world with us. And you bonks. Good to have you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Love the new studio. Thank you. I'm still missing lights. I'm missing some more decor, but it's getting there. So close. I just couldn't get it out in time. And Gwen says, hi, Mom. So on that, Sarah, now there's a lesson you taught me just recently. We talked about this. I even placed, no, I didn't place a bet. I didn't want to bet you, but I did reduce my investment because you taught me a very valuable lesson about rumors and news. Would you share that with us, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not going to mention the project name, right? But if you want to real quick, just kind of tell people what you saw and why you bought, right?
Okay.
Then that will help build on this.
Perfect. Okay. So biggest thing is there was a lot of news going around that this project was going to be doing this huge boost, a huge pump. And it was kind of like being told, hey, this is going to come out next Monday. So you got to get into it now. Oh, news coming out Monday. Okay, I've got to get into it. So I was going to put in $100. And for me, that's a lot. After talking to Cyril and we debated back and forth, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to follow you. So I knocked it down to $20. I put it in. And this was on a Friday. And sure enough, by Monday, that $20 had turned into like $16, $17. And by Wednesday, Thursday, it was down to like 11, 12. He was absolutely right. And he taught me this valuable lesson about the whole rumor and the news aspect. So big thing there is I heard about it out on the mainstream area. And that's what should have been my first warning. Anytime you hear something on mainstream, that's probably not a good time to get into anything or to react to anything. So, Mr. Cyril, how did that play out and why?
Yeah, so it's a very well-known phenomenon. It's referred to as buy the rumor, sell the news. And that's what will happen in a lot of stocks, a lot of cryptos, and especially a lot of DeFi projects, where when you see the community start saying, hey, we got some really awesome news that's coming, it's going to be out, or hey, we're going to get, CoinGecko listing and all that sort of stuff, the effect that it actually has, those kind of news events, is very minimal on the token. But what you wind up seeing is all of the holders who are already there in the ecosystem will start buying more because they expect that it will pump, even though it usually doesn't. And so what happens is the news comes out, news day, an immediate pump doesn't occur, so everyone starts selling, right? So yes, buy the rumor, sell the news. So if you see a project saying, hey, we got this awesome thing coming, it's happening on Monday, and the bag starts going up in value, sell before Monday, because it ain't going to keep going up, right? You want to sell the news, buy the rumor.
And I learned that one the hard way. So let me ask you on that mentality, given all the FUD, everything going around about all these specific coins that they've listed out, things like that, not financial advice, of course, but for you personally, are you finding that this is the time to start collecting those as that price is dropping down on some of these? Is that how you're playing your personal portfolio?
Right. So the thing you need to remember about the market is that it's most of the people in it are very emotionally charged and tend to be very fearful and very bullish when they shouldn't be, right? They'll take any news event and they'll run wild with it. So any kind of negative news causes a very sharp knee-jerk reaction where everyone will start selling off because they're trying to sell off before the bad thing happens or before everyone else sells. And so it just causes this compound effect. So what I start doing is I pay attention to my levels, right? As it starts coming to a support level, I'll add a bit more. If it continues dropping and reaches another support level, I'll add some more. Because remember, DCA in, DCA out. So when the price is coming down after a negative news event, when it starts to kind of slow its descent, I start adding positions. Obviously, don't try to catch a falling knife. If you look at the chart on like the hourly or the 4 hour and it's just a single red candle going down, that's not the time to buy. You want to wait. Don't try to catch a falling knife. That's how you bleed.
Breathe. Wait. No, I got it. No. Okay. No, and that's one of the big things that a lot of people don't think about. It's like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. It's tragic. And like Dave by talking, yeah, dude, this is an all-out war. And the SEC, Gensler, and all them, they are absolutely bloodthirsty for crypto. And like you said, Cyril, they're doing this shotgun blast effect, hoping they hit something because as soon as there's blood in the water, that's it. It's just going to be a train wreck after that. So yeah, I agree. And this is one. If any of you are the type that wants to do a call to action, you want to get a hold of your congressman, your senators, things like that. Hey, write him an email, give him a call, something. Make your voice heard, definitely, because yeah, this is hitting insanity and, in my opinion, stupidity. Absolutely.
Yep, 100%.
So yeah, you bonks want to play? Yeah, anybody want to play Galaga? Come on over, man. Game set up. We're ready to rock. So try and catch up on the chat a little bit. You bonks, brother, man, I'm so glad you made it here, and thank you for an amazing stream as always. If you guys don't know, Yabonks is my mentor, best friend of the space, brother in arms. He's taught me how to do things, what not to do, and between him and Cyril, they are like literally my entire foundation. They are the ones that guide me, teach me, and I learn from every single day. Definitely check out Yabonks' channel. He also runs an animal sanctuary, and just saw some amazing videos where he helped out a pig. He's had some tragedies, some circle of life events. But definitely check out his channel, check out the animals. It's really a great cause. So love you to death, Yabonks. Good to have you, my man. Let's see, buy the rumor, sell the news. Yep, exactly. I had to learn that the hard way, and I almost bet Cyril, and I would have lost. But it's one of those, I wasn't that dumb, thankfully. But
Yeah,
I
I think what I said, I bet you $10 that it's going to drop on Monday instead of going up. And you're like, I don't think I want to take that bet. I'm like,
No.
You don't.
Yep. And that's the great thing here, guys, is we're all learning together. And so if there's anything you want to know, I don't care how frivolous you think that question is, jump in the Discord, ask somebody. There's all these great people in there, and we'll help you. If it's, what is a MetaMask wall? What does DeFi stand for? Hey, that's not a dumb question. If you don't know the answer, it's not dumb. Never feel your question is stupid or it's frivolous, because it's not. We're all here to learn, to teach, and to guide. So please hop in the Discord, put your comments here, whatever we can do to help. That's what we're all about. Let's see. I saw Gary go blah 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 blah. So BNB. Yeah, that works. Yeah, whatever he's saying, don't buy. Personally, I've been looking at heavily. It's like, okay. Abdul, good to have you. It's a good time to have dry powder on hand. Absolutely, I agree. And Jay Steen, good to have you. Okay, so for those just tuning in, like I said earlier, I was going to give away $10 worth of ETH to help anybody who wanted to participate in some of these projects we're doing in Rags to Riches. But over on Yabonks live stream, I won a $20 giveaway. I don't know in what form it is. I didn't pay attention that much because I had to come over here. But either way, that $20 is going to one of you at the end of the stream. So keep watching, because there's going to be two giveaways. One for $10 that I'm going to give away in ETH, and one for $20 in whatever form Yabonk says it's in. So we got some fun. We got some prizes. We got some things happening here.
Awesome.
Okay. So Cyril, today, by the way, how do you like the new backsplash? We get a date now. It's June 9th. 2023, so we can keep track of what the hell we're doing, because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I like the new backsplash. It's good. It's good.
Okay. So up to this point, we have invested $50 in the Rags to Riches. The first one was all blue chips. The second one was DeFi. Today is the third one, and we'll go through the voting process there. But first, where does our $50 investment stand as of today?
Yeah, so our $50 investment, as you can see here in our super fancy spreadsheet, did suffer a little bit of loss in that crypto crash. We are down, according to the P&L tab, we are down 7.3%, which honestly, considering how badly a lot of things went down, wasn't that bad. Due to our happy little diversification, we have our BTC exposure, our ETH exposure, our BNB, and we have our gold exposure through C Gold over at Collective Finance. So that kind of helped, gold stayed relatively stable. So that helped prop us up a bit. And then BTC and ETH didn't get hit quite as hard as BNB, as you can see, because we had equal investment amounts into all three of those. So they stayed above the $8 range. Meanwhile, BNB is down at 7. So that's where the majority of our loss is, along with the 6.37 Matic that we have. That's, so that's kind of where we're at right now. Of course, I did deposit the 25 USDC that we will be investing this go around.
Yay! Okay, now everybody, remember if you want to copy this spreadsheet, this is something that Cyril absolutely advises utilizing. There is a link on the Discord. You can go in, make a copy of it, and you can modify it for yourself. So definitely tracking this is super, super critical. And what is the most important piece that we have to always track here, Cyril, that most people like me, and I'm guilty, absolutely, that we don't track?
Your transactions.
Yes, yes, yes.
Similar to a trade book or a trade journal that you would keep, and that a lot of higher level traders keep. Will keep a trade journal showing, okay, I bought here at this price, this many units or lots or stocks or whatever, right? And here's why I did it. Here's the setup I saw. And then here's where I plan on taking profit. Similar to that, you want to track your transactions in DeFi. One, because if you're doing a lot of them and you're not tracking those gas fees, you might start finding yourself wondering, hey, where is my money going, right? Especially with a smaller wallet, those cents add up, and you can't keep track of your dollars if it doesn't make sense. So
I like it. That's good.
Yeah, so it's important to keep track of your transactions.
Okay. And that's one thing that I know a lot of people, myself included, I'm very guilty of. It's like, I don't know, I put like 20 bucks over there sometime somewhere. And hey, what's the work today? Where is it? Yeah, I am horrible at this kind of stuff. And my wife can attest to this because, yeah, I have like $10 here and $5 over there. And I don't remember what's anywhere. I just go through my wallets like, what the hell is that coin? I don't remember that coin I bought.
Oh, I hear you there. And honestly, when it comes to my crypto holdings that I'm not like actively trading or whatnot, I'm a little bad with tracking that as well. So after our last episode last week, I went through my 20 something wallets and started condensing some of the holdings into like, 3 or 4 wallets to make it a little easier for me to track.
That's crazy. So on the multiple wallets, there's one thing I wanted to ask you, and I think that's something that probably everybody wants to know, is with the central exchange like Coinbase and these people hitting all this SEC and the frozen funds, all that, is a cold wallet really that much safer? Is that something worth spending the 80 bucks on if you've only got like maybe $100 in crypto? Is it worth going out and buying that cold wallet for like 60, 70 bucks and getting it off of a central exchange, or moving to more of a DeFi wallet all the way around? What do you recommend?
Yeah, so one of the things that I always say is you shouldn't have your money sitting on a centralized exchange. If you have your money sitting on Coinbase, or if you have it sitting on Binance, or you have it sitting, Kraken, any of those exchanges, it's not your crypto, right? If it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. So you shouldn't have it on an exchange. It doesn't matter if you have $100 or $1,000,000. Don't keep it on an exchange. Keep it either in a MetaMask wallet or on a cold storage. Now, if you don't, let's say you're dealing with $100, $200, something like that, and you don't want to go spending $80 on a cold wallet, there are free solutions. So one of the things that I usually recommend to people who are looking for a little more security, because if you have your wallet on your phone and you get SIM swapped, right? It doesn't matter if you have two-factor authentication, they can still access all your crypto because they SIM swapped, right? So, that's a risk if you have your all your holdings on your wallet on your computer. Well, if you play Minecraft, there's a virus going out right now that any jar files are affected and all their passwords can be gone, right? So, any number of things could occur that would cause your computer to get compromised. So one of the things that I recommend, and take notes, is you go and create yourself a Gnosis safe, right? And you have your wallet on your computer, and you have a separate wallet on your MetaMask, and you set those two as signers on your Gnosis safe. Now, your funds, in order to actually move, you need to approve it on both your computer and your phone. And what's the likelihood of both of your devices becoming compromised at the same time? Now, of course, the downside is I would always recommend having a third device, like a tablet, that you never connect to the internet as a signer as well. Because what happens if one of your wallets does get compromised? If you have a 2 of 2 Gnosis safe, now your money's stuck there and you can never get it, right?
Okay.
So have a third one and set it as a 2 out of 3 Gnosis safe. That way, if one of your devices does become compromised, that's the time you turn on the tablet and then your other non-compromised device, and you can move the money out of the Gnosis safe to wherever you need it to go, etc. So that's a good free alternative. If you do have a lot of money and you don't want it necessarily, easy to transact with, then you can get yourself a cold wallet. But remember, just because you have a cold wallet doesn't mean your money is safe. It is only as safe as the items you connect it to. So remember that.
Self-accountability. Once again, this all comes down to us being responsible. And the Gnosis Safe, I could have figured that one out. So it sounds like that is a great Zero to Hero video that needs to be done. So I will be doing that here in the near future, boys and girls.
Awesome. And just remember, if you have a cold wallet, the only thing you should be doing with that cold wallet is sending funds to it and then sending funds to a hot wallet. You should not be connecting to dApps. You shouldn't be going and doing your mints for XYZ project through your ledger. You should only be sending to and from.
Okay. So now, do you recommend having multiple hot wallets, like one that you may interact with when you go out and do these mints, things like that, and then one that's, for instance, you get your crypto in a hot wallet, you send that to your cold wallet, send that crypto back to the first hot wallet, and then transfer it from that first one to a second to interact that wallet with mints and any outside sources? Or do you feel it's okay to do it with the first one just fine?
So I have, and it's important to remember, if you have a MetaMask and you click create new account and it gives you another wallet, it's still under the same seed phrase as all of your other wallets. So if that one wallet gets compromised off of some like free mint or airdrop or something like that, it's actually compromising your entire seed phrase with all of your accounts that are listed under it. So please make sure that if you are going to have a burner wallet that you're using to interact with stuff that might be sketchy, but might be, like airdrops or whatnot, that it's under a separate seed phrase. One of the easy ways to do that is with Google Chrome, you get a separate profile for each account that you have. So you can open up a new instance of Google Chrome under a different email address, and you'll notice it does not have your MetaMask extension. So what you do is you download the extension, and instead of importing your seed phrase from your main profile in Google Chrome, you would just create a new one. Congratulations. Now you have a separate seed phrase burner wallet that you can use for things like that. But as far as like if you're interacting with stuff that's pretty safe, that's not a huge, I don't see a reason to bounce funds all around and everything like that. Just don't interact directly with your cold wallet.
Okay, sounds good. And so Dave said, send to a hot wallet, transact with a hot wallet, another moat. Okay, good advice. Absolutely, 100%. And then Wynn asked, what is a hot wallet? So for those who don't know, a hot wallet is what is connected to the internet. That's your MetaMask. That's all those different types of wallets that you can directly access a dApp with, something that's always online and it's always hot. It's running constantly. That's considered a hot wallet. A cold wallet is like a USB thumb drive that you would plug in, transfer funds to it, unplug it, put it in a safe or some other safety deposit box, something like that. That's considered a cold wallet. But even those can be compromised. Whatever you plug it into, you are now accessing the net. And if your computer has virus or something, it can go right onto your cold wallet. So there is no absolute foolproof security measure short of a Gnosis Safe is about the safest thing that I've heard so far. So that's great advice.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
and
let's see the votes.
Okay, let me catch up on the comments. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here real quick. One that always connected, basically like your breath. Yeah, exactly. Something's always connected. And says, thanks, Dayfly. Absolutely, Lynn. And Lynn is my wife. Love you to death. And now something I just learned is I have on the same MetaMask like 2 or 3 accounts. So I thought, well, if I connect with account 3, account 1 is safe, right? No. Okay, I just learned something new. Ha-ha, see? Even I can be taught. And that's the great thing about this is we get to learn together because I'm not the master. And I guarantee there's even things Cyril learns from time to time. There's something that we all learn. And if we're not learning, we're not growing. We're not growing. We're just existing. which is the same as waiting to die in my book. So keep
Yep.
living, keep growing, and keep learning. Always. Always good to pay attention to what you allow in your wallet. Don't allow max amounts. Agreed. Okay. And revoke dApps. You no longer use dApps only once in a while. Yes. And DayFi, that's another one I need to do a Zero to Hero series on, because a lot of us interact with our wallets on certain websites or dApps, and we don't remove permissions, because whenever you go out and you connect your wallet, say, yes, I want to do this exchange, you have to sign a permission set. And that lives there until you revoke it. Is that correct, Cyril?
Yeah, same thing with token approvals. And you can use Unrect, which is an app, which ironically you have to connect to it in order to remove all of your approvals and connections. But you would be surprised how many people, if you do an approval checker on their wallet address, will have hundreds of open approvals. And each open approval you have, if any one of those platforms became compromised or exploited, so could your wallet. So it's always very important to go through and remove those approvals. And I'm sure that you'll do a Zero to Hero series on that as well here in the very near future.
Yep. This is just planning out exactly what I need to put out there for content, because a lot of us are learning, a lot of us don't know, and I'm sure many of you have no idea what we're talking about right now. We're probably like, Unwrecked, what is hot, cold? I'm so confused. That's okay. That's what we're here for. So be a part of the Discord, get in there, talk to the community, ask these questions. We're all here to learn, and I will get those videos published and out just as quick as I can make them thorough and complete now that construction is almost complete.
Woo.
Okay, so let's get into our voting. Okay, last comment. Let me catch up on Dave's. Nothing in a wallet. Everything remains on blockchain. Your wallet just gives you authorization to interact with your assets on the blockchain. Yes. Okay, so DayFi, you keep throwing up great topics, man. We have to discuss this one now before we get to the voting. So for those who don't know, yes, your wallet doesn't necessarily possess your coins. Okay, your coins, your tokens, your things live on the blockchain. So they're out there. They're in the blocks on the chain. Go ahead, Cyril.
We'll keep it a very simple analogy.
Please.
You have your banking app on your phone. Is your money in your phone? No, it's in your bank. Your banking app on your phone allows you to access that money and spend it and send it, or just look at it and be like, but your money's not on your phone. So same case here. A wallet is like the mobile banking app, and the blockchain is like the bank.
I like that. That is good. Okay. Much better than what I was going to say. Cyril's the master, and this is why. I love it. Okay. So I think we've caught up on the education. Anything you guys want to know more on that, we'll cover towards the end or on the Discord. Absolutely. But let's go to the standings of this week's voting. Now, if you guys don't know, on the Down Home Crypto Discord is where we vote. And so tomorrow I'll open a new voting poll, and you'll be able to vote for blue chips. 20% of our $25, sorry, 20% of the $25 goes to blue chips. 80% of the $25 goes to a crypto project. It doesn't have to be DeFi. It can be whatever you guys want. You guys really are guiding this journey. So the voting for last week, the results are in, and it says... Okay, June 9th, Rags to Riches, vote for your favorite crypto project, which was 80%. We had Collective Finance with 0. Planet Aqua and BSC had 3 votes, 38%. Paper had 1 vote at 12%. APY Profit Builder on Dex Vaults had 4 votes at 50%. And XRP had 0 votes at 0%. And the blue chip status was ETH had 3 votes, 33%. Matic had 0 votes. I don't know why. I love Matic.
Especially when it's on a discount right now, right?
Right. It's like Blue Light Special, man. And I grew up at Kmart, so anytime there was a Blue Light Special, that really was a Kmart thing. They would announce it. Aisle 7 Blue Light Special. BNB had 2 votes with 22%. BTC, 1 vote at 11%. AVAX, 0. And Solana had 3 votes at 33%. So we have a blue chip tie. And as we know, Cyril always saves his votes for the live stream, so he is the deciding factor on any tie that ever occurs. I love that. So how do you want to go about this, Cyril? Do you want to do would you like to share your vote for the blue chip first, or how do you want to play it, my man?
Yeah, I can do that. So let me see here. I personally don't think that Solana will do too well long term. So I would probably vote for ETH.
Okay.
That's
Now,
not my first choice this week, though. My first choice this week would have been either adding to Matic or a BNB position due to the fact that they're on sale, right?
right.
Because it's the same thing. Like if you bought your new 85-inch TV for $1,200 over at Walmart, and you got it all set up and you're enjoying the crisp clarity, if you go back to Walmart next week and see it's on sale for 30% off, do you get pissed, or do you say, you know what? I think another one might look good in the den, and it's on sale, right? So I like to view things kind of the same way. Yeah.
That works. And see, that's fair. And see, I used to be the type like, maybe that TV has a problem. I'll take it back, get a refund, turn right around and buy the same TV back and get the money back. I've done some sketchy things in my life I'm not proud of, but I have to be honest about. So, yeah, I am not the shining example of perfection. And that's okay. That's what makes it great is I'm human and I make mistakes all the time. Probably more than most some days. But Mehmet, good to have you, buddy. And yes, there will be awards later. So keep an eye on what's coming up. Okay, so our blue line, and I would agree with you on that. I would definitely be looking at like the BNBs, things like that are on sale right now. The Matic BNB, I mean, that's something I'm going to start collecting here over the next week as I see that red candle stop and it kind of starts hovering a little bit. I'm just
right around 70 cents.
I think that sounds good. You heard it here first. Not financial advice, but the master told me 70 cents. I'm aiming for 70 cents. I have learned my lesson.
That's your first position, right? Because remember, you don't just buy everything at once. You save it for levels. So my first position on buying more Matic will be right around 70 cents. So my next one is at a lower position. So that way I can DCA in.
Gotcha. Okay. Saying DCA in, DCA out. Now, if anybody doesn't remember what DCA is, or we haven't covered that yet, stands for. I thought you were going to give away this time. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dollar cost average.
Right. So, really quickly and simply, guys, what that means is let's say a token's sitting at $1 and you buy $10 today. You wait a week and you're buying another $10. If it goes down to 90 cents, you buy $10. Well, that means your average, you paid 95 cents per token. And so as it keeps going down, you keep buying. You don't get upset that I paid $1. No, you keep buying it down, and then your average keeps dropping, and then you keep buying up, or you get to a point where you start selling and you're making profits. So dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out.
Now that only works if instead of saying, "Oh, I got $1,000 to invest, I'm going to go ahead and buy it all right now," here at my dollar. And then you're like, oh, crap, it kept going down. I don't really have a whole lot of money right now, but I guess I'll buy, $500 worth at this price. And, oh, crap, it keeps going down. Now I'm pissed, right? No, you take your initial amount that you're willing to invest and you split that up into pieces. And then you DCA in with that. If you decide after seeing a floor form that maybe I want to put in some more, then you can. But you don't want to invest with your entire amount right off the get-go and then try to DCA in afterwards.
Right. Now, let me ask you something on that, because we're talking about the going down part. What about if it's going up and you have $1,000 today and you feel that it's going to keep going up? Do you increase your DCA amount? Do you stick with the same schedule? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with the emotional aspect of, oh man, I should have bought it 3 weeks ago when I had the $1,000 and now it's like doubled in price. Oh, I feel so dumb. How do you deal with that emotions?
Well, you need to understand you're never going to time the top. You're never going to time the bottom. Your best bet to be successful as a retail trader is to always DCA in and always DCA out. You're never going to buy when it's at its perfect low. It's, you might be buying while it's going up. That's okay. Because guess what? If your first buy is here, you got to buy here, you got to buy here, you got to buy here. You actually bought here, right? So you're already in profit, even if your last buy is at the top. So
Okay.
you need to remember that. Emotions have no place in investing. You need to learn to control that. That's a whole nother conversation all on its own. You just need to look at it as numbers, and you need to treat any money that you put into any kind of investment as gone. When you buy a car, you don't buy it expecting to sell it for a profit later. You buy a car to have it, to use it, etc. If you're buying an investment or crypto or stocks or whatever, you buy it, you've got it. Okay, it's not going away. You own it now, unless of course you're leverage trading, but that's another conversation.
No, we don't get it. That gets ugly fast. Trust me. Yeah, no.
But you need to consider that money as gone. I no longer have $1,000. I have 800 Matic, right? You need to treat it that way. If that Matic goes up in value, great. If it goes down in value, I still have 800 Matic. It's not money lost unless I decide to sell it for this price. And if you're only investing with money that you can afford to lose, you shouldn't have to sell it at a loss. You can wait for that to come back up until you're in profit. Obviously, caveat, this does not work so well with most DeFi projects. I'm referring to like blue chip cryptos here, okay, or stocks or commodities. DeFi projects, as we all know, they can keep going down and they can go all the way down to zero. So it's a little bit different there. But with something like Matic or BTC or ETH, if you bought at the peak of the previous bull run in 2017 into 2018, you might have paid $19,000 for BTC, and then how sad would you be at its bottom of $3,800, right, or 35, depending on which exchange you're looking at? You'd be very sad. You just spent almost 20 grand for a full BTC that's now worth 3,700. But here's the thing: you haven't lost that money. You still have the BTC, right? You bought the BTC. You only would have lost the money if you sold it at that price. If you had kept waiting, you would have sold it for 65K or whatever price you sold it at during this bull run. So you need to change your mindset when you're doing investing. And once you do that, it becomes a lot easier to control the emotions. Oh no, my Matic bag is going down. No, it's not, because I haven't sold any of it. I still have 800 Matic. I don't have 700 Matic, 600 Matic, 500 Matic. I still have 800 Matic. So
It's only a loss if you actually sell it and let your emotions run. And that's one of the biggest things. A lot of people, especially who aren't used to investing or crypto or things like that, we look at the dollar value, not of what the actual physical amount are or percentages, like we talked about before. In fact, Mom threw that at me today. And Mom, I'm so proud of you. This woman is 81 years old now. And she's
saying that.
Hey, the fact that somebody of that age can still invest in crypto and learn. She threw it at me today and said, and I know that I watch the percentages, not the dollar amount, because we don't count it in dollars. Well done. Proud of you. So yeah, hats off to Mom out there. So real quick before we get into our investing, like I said, we've got two giveaways. The first one is for $10 worth of Ethereum on the Arbitrum network. And how do we enter into that? Well, it's real simple. Right now in the chat, type #riches. It's going to start counting those entries. It's on one entry per person. Even if you put it in 20 times, it's only going to count you once. Don't try to get in the system. And then I will be contacting, or you'll DM me in Discord. Take a picture that this is you in the YouTube, and I will send you over $10 worth of Ethereum on the Arbitrum One network. So that's the first giveaway.
Woo.
Woo. So, okay, Cyril, now that we have our votes completed and we are setting at, there's my screen again. I'm back. Okay, I found it. Which one do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the blue chip or the DeFi one?
Well, we always start with our blue chips, right? Because the blue chips is one single transaction, whereas when it comes to the DeFi investment, it can be several. And since the gas is always coming out of the amount for that transaction, we don't want to bite into our potential investment in the blue chips. So since we have $5 each week to invest into a blue chip, we can go ahead and do that. And let's see here. So we were going to go to swap. Exchange. Go. 1 second. Let me make sure.
I'm not seeing your screen, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I had to flip it over. All right, so we're on the wrong wallet. Let me switch to the other wallet.
Absolutely, Ags. Thanks for tuning in, and yes, thanks for simplicity explaining. It's extremely easy to understand and implement. Hey, that's what we're here for. We're trying to turn everybody into solid, intentional, or smart investors. There we go. I lost the word. English is my second language, right behind gibberish.
So we'll be swapping 5 USDC over to our ETH here. And as you can see, we need to approve our USDC. And we are going to approve, not max, hold on.
Right, as we just talked about, you never approve the max. You only approve the amount you're actually going to interact with.
Yep, so we're going to type in 5. We're going to approve that. And since it's Polygon network, always remember to put it to aggressive gas or your transaction can be stuck. So we're waiting for that to approve.
Now, one thing that some people might ask is, if we're buying ETH on the Arbitrum One or on the Polygon network or any of this, does the prices vary? I mean, is it the same Ethereum, even though it's on different blockchains, or is there concern with that?
So the Ethereum that you will find on Polygon, Arbitrum, etc., is technically wrapped Ethereum. It is a representation of Ethereum that is stashed happily in a vault on the Ethereum network. And it will hold the same price, and arbitrage across the various networks will keep it in line with the proper price. Why is it not letting me swap?
You broke it. Nice going. That's why we can't have nice things.
The heck?
I just work here, man.
Right?
Experiencing technical difficulties.
I guess. It's Let's try V2 markets.
Okay.
Not 58. There we go. There we go. Now we can swap.
Perfect.
Get our little 5 USDC over to Ethereum.
Now, a lot of people might think $5 worth of Ethereum is like useless. So what's the point? Why don't I go buy a lottery ticket or scratch ticket or things like that? Why are we doing this at just $25 a week? So, I mean, what's the purpose?
Well, it's to show the value of investing and growth. Even if you don't have a whole lot of money with which to do so, it is better to give it time to grow. You know, it's kind of like that whole, the compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. While our investments here are not necessarily compounding, they are growing. Overall, we are in this space because we believe in the long-term future growth value of crypto as a whole. And so that's why we allocate, 20% of our weekly investment into the blue chip cryptos that will grow in value with the overall market, right? And because we believe that it will grow, we know that even if we can only afford little investment amounts, we know that if we can set that aside, leave it alone, let it grow, we'll be in a good place down the road. And that is the hope, right? Anytime you're doing investing, that is the hope. You can take little bits of money that you won't lose, or you won't miss if you lose it, right? And just put it into something that long term you believe will do well. And while $5 worth of Ethereum may not be a whole bunch, you got to think if you're doing that over the course of a year, each week, that is $260. Which, if you say, okay, well, I believe that Ethereum is going to, triple in value, by the end of next year, right? Now that $260 is $780, and if you could only afford to invest small amounts, chances are a nice $780, boost to your finances is something that would be very valuable to you.
Well said. I like that. And that's the biggest thing and why we want to do this, because I don't think any amount is too small as long as it covers the gas fee, essentially. And it doesn't matter if you have $10 a week or maybe you have $20 a month. Whatever it is, it's using sound investment practices and learning that, yes, that little bit can add up over time.
Mhm. Exactly.
Okay. So we now have our Ethereum in our wallet. Is that correct? We are locked loaded.
That is correct. We have that now. And what we can do is we can update the amount of Ethereum that we have. So we would go ahead and we would subtract $5 from our USDC. And then we'll grab our new Ethereum value. Let me see what that is. It is 00723. So we'll come over here to our ETH. 00723. Boop. Perfect. So that's updated now.
Well done.
Now the voting for the DeFi one. What was that?
Okay, so this one is a little more interesting. So this one is the APY profit builder on Dex Vaults.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those who don't know, little transparency and clarity here, guys. This is a vault that I personally created because I went in after watching Ubonks, seeing his vault. I wanted something that kept a little more into it to compound quicker and had a little bit higher risk because I wanted to push a little bit more return. So I did a 3-way vault and created this one, and I put my own money in it. And that's where mine is currently sitting. But for transparency, for anybody who deposits into it, 1% of that deposit is credited back to me. So just want to be honest there. That's something that's set up by it, nothing I can control. Otherwise, I'd just say, no, I won't charge anybody anything. But if you do invest into it, 1% does go to me. So just so we have complete transparency and honesty there.
Well, I appreciate the clarity there for everyone.
Absolutely.
1 second.
Got to be honest all the way around.
Oh, definitely. So I was just over here trying to start the bridging process because I know that's over on Arbitrum, right?
Yes, Arbitrum 1.
Okay. So
RBDex is where it's located. At least that's how I got to it. And there it is. Okay, that's what I lost. Okay. And so for anybody who doesn't know, we have just a couple quick minutes before we do the actual staking on that. We're going to do the $10 riches, which is $10 in Ethereum on Arbitrum 1 network. So you got just a quick minute here. I've got 7 entries. Make sure to get your type in the chat, #riches. Thank you, Ubonks. Brother, you inspired me, my man. And Ubonks has a vault over there as well. It's a little more solid, and he's in Seagold, if I remember right. Seagold and USDT is his. And yeah, he inspired me to do that. I just wanted to push the boundaries a little bit more. I wanted to try it myself. So yes, thank you, Ubonks, for enlightening me on that and opening my eyes to it.
I'm just over here setting up the bridge process real quick. Now, it looks like the networks are running a little slow right now, so the bridge is probably going to take a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll plop the $20 in there. We'll update the spreadsheet, all that fun jazz. But that will we'll do that off screen, basically.
Okay. Got it. Okay, sounds good. So let's go and do a giveaway. What do you think? I think we've given everybody enough time. Let's give away some ETH. How's that sound to you?
That sounds great.
Okay, let's do it. Because I know you got dinner cooking, and I know we're running on that time limit. I blame it on Ubonks for going later than he should have. So we started later. It's just a.
We only started 2 minutes later. You can't blame that on Ubonks.
Damn it! I tried. I can give it a try. It just means legitimate.
I'm here to keep you honest, apparently. Damn.
Apparently so, yes. Okay, so this is for $10 worth of Ethereum on the Arbitrum 1 network. If you win, take a screenshot of yourself, your YouTube account that shows this stream playing with your YouTube, because I got to be able to verify to you or I'm not going to send it, plain and simple. Then you're going to jump in the Discord, and you're going to open a ticket there, or just shoot me a DM in Discord. That's totally fine. With that evidence, with your wallet address, and I'll send that over to you. And Ubunk says, it's okay. I can blame him. Haha, see? Thanks, Ubunk. I love you, buddy. Okay, we have 15 entries. And please make sure to like, subscribe to the video, and pass the word, because we really want to educate and help everybody in this space, whether they're in this space or not. Everybody in the world, that this space exists, and you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be college educated. You don't have to be tech savvy. You simply have a desire to change your life, or just follow that dream. Okay, are we ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. Winner is Abdul Kal. Congratulations, Abdul. Well done. Okay, so take a screenshot. Let me know this is you. Send me a DM in the Discord, and I will get that over to you, buddy. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay. How's your bridging process going?
Jumper.exchange said, sorry, something went wrong. Please try again. So I tried again, and it said, sorry, something went wrong. Please try again. So I'm going to try again a little bit later. So, like I said, that'll all be updated in the spreadsheet. You'll be able to look at the transaction, see how much was spent in gas, how much was finally deposited, etc. And we will handle that once Jumper allows the bridge to go through over to Arbitrum.
Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring this up real quick. So for those who don't know, and you want to know where we're going, and so what I do is I go to RBDex. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Dex Vaults. I'm going to hide that for a second. And so just so you guys can see what it is we're looking at. My vaults. Once it's... Oh, it's going to make me connect. Hold on a second here. I don't think I'm connected. Oh, I am. Okay, it's just being stupid. There we go. Okay. Technical difficulties. Restriction join about 10 accounts. Oh, lovely. I guess that's okay. Hey, he's here. And the great thing is, we will be checking on that. Thank you for the heads up on that one. Okay, so Cyril, would you like to explain the vault here and how this works and why it works?
Yeah, I can do that real quick. All right, so essentially a vault that you have set up there, it contains several different strategies. It is a pairing between the ARX token and USDC, which is a farm vault on Arbidex. There's another farm vault, wrapped Ether and ARX token, and a third farm vault, wrapped Ether and USDT. Now, all three of these vaults, essentially, you deposit your ARX token into the vault and you earn rewards. Or if it's an LP provision, you provide some ARX and some USDC, and then you earn. And what a vault like this does is it combines those strategies, each with their different APYs and APRs, and then it assigns a certain amount to be compounded back into investments from the earnings it receives for farming. And then it assigns a percentage to take profit each day to put that money in your pocket as growth.
Well done. Well said here. And so I'm trying to find the whole thingamajigger where, usually it has a percentage up here. Okay, the take profit on this one is a 30% take profit, and it's a 70% reinvest is how it's built up as. APY currently, as it sits now, it's gone down, and I'm assuming that's because the market, the token price, and all that has dropped. Is that correct?
That could be part of it, yes. But the APYs and APRs on Arbidex is derived from volume and revenue that they build on volume. So if they have a day where the volume's a little bit lower on their DEX, it will affect your variable APR.
Okay, and so currently we're sitting at an APR of 464%, daily APY, not APR. Very big difference there. So, Cyril, real quick. Yes, I did almost screw that one up. So real quick, if you would give us a breakdown of the difference between APR and APY, because that's something that I don't think a lot of people really understand, and you're probably better at explaining than I am.
Yeah, so an easy way to remember it is that the APR is your actual. So like if you have $100 and that $100 earns you $1 in revenue, right? And you have that $100 working and you're receiving $1 worth of revenue every single day, that's your APR, right? And APY assumes that what you're doing is taking that full dollar every single time you get it and adding it to the money that you have farming, right? And so that's assuming that you're compounding. And it's worth noting that most of the APY figures, you only receive somewhat around that level of return during the last couple weeks of the year. Most of the time, you're slowly building up to that because that's the way compounding works. You spend a lot of time slowly going up like this, and then the last like week or two of the year, that's when all that APY is actually seen. So I don't like to look at APY values when deciding what my investment will be. I like looking at the APRs. Now, Arbidex does let you see the APRs on individual pools, but you would have to go to Arbidex to actually see that versus what your APY would be.
Okay. I was just seeing if I could look in that here. Debank. Looks like everything's debank on this. So you'd have to go into each one of these individually to find out exactly what those were.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Good safety tip. So since we are running close on time, one more giveaway. You know what to do. And Yabunks, I have no idea what form that was in, buddy. So if you want to let me know what it is I'm sending them, that would be great. Because this is the $20 I won on the Yabunks show. So whatever giveaway that was, thank you, Yabunks, for having such an amazing stream. And if you guys don't know, definitely check out Yabunks. Great guy, love the animals, and he's always trying to help the community. So truly somebody I highly recommend supporting.
Tell you what, you guys want to go ahead and get your entries in now. Type in hashtag rags to riches, all one word, and you have until I finish this cigarette to get your entries in. If you don't get your entries in by then, too bad.
Perfect. I like it because yes, Cyril is on a time limit. Now, if you guys don't remember, right, when we first started this adventure, the condition Cyril had was it was a 1 hour stream. It wasn't going to be a 3 hour or 12 hour like we have all been known to do. Okay, $20 BUSD. Thank you. And so, yes, Cyril did put me on a timer. And I want to say thank you to Rose. Thank you to Lily for letting me have Cyril for an hour every Friday. Very much appreciated. And thank you to the Master Cyril for sharing your knowledge and just being here with us and enlightening us and being on this journey, because this truly is amazing. I think everybody's really enjoying this.
Yeah, I have fun with these, the Rags to Riches series. It's enjoyable. We get to come in here, we get to see what the community is voting for us to put that $25 a week into, and we get to, teach a little bit, which, if anybody has any questions during, our little time here while we're waiting for people to get their entries in, feel free to type them in the comments and we can address them. But make sure you get your entry in, and don't forget, hit the like button for Serenity here. If you're not already subscribed, you should be, because a lot of his videos are very informative and very, very great so make sure you show him some support, because he's putting his own time and effort into all of this to help bring all of you some fun and informative ways to learn about taking little bits of money and starting to work towards changing your future with that money.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. And yeah, guys, if you don't realize, just for the record, I am not at that 1,000 subscribers. So I don't actually make any money off doing this. This is literally what I do for fun. This is totally for free to help you guys. So any videos I put out there, unless it's something that's sponsored, and I always say that, I'm not monetized, as they call it. And Yabunks knows that road up to 1,000 subscribers is rough. So whatever you can do to help, I would greatly appreciate it. Please and thank you. Okay, how's your cigarette doing, Cyril?
We have a little more time. And
Okay, cool.
if you get me talking, it winds up taking longer. But
Oh, awesome. Okay, guys, ask some questions. We keep Cyril here another 20 minutes. We're good.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Yeah, because I
haven't eaten anything yet today, and it's 8 p.m. at night. So
damn.
got to eat at some point.
It's recommended, like food, sleep, restroom breaks. Yeah, eventually you got to do it. Mother Nature will win. You can ask Bonks, the man right here who knows what it's like to not sleep for days on end and just live off coffee. It's not a healthy thing to do. I don't recommend it.
I'm pretty sure he, at several times, has hit the absolute limit of, the safe amount of time that you can stay awake before you start actually being very adversely affected by it.
Right. I hear you get hallucinations. Things go horribly wrong. The brain starts going a little bit on the crazy side. Yeah. Yes, I'm close, Yabonks. I'm trying, buddy, man. And Yabonks has been my inspiration. He's told me, you know what? It's going to be hard. You're going to have those days when you want to give up. You just don't feel like you're doing it and accomplishing. Be prepared for it. And you know what? I am. And so thank you, Yabonks, for all your support, all your love, brother. And I'm loving the journey. It's challenging, but I'm growing every single day. And just in the stream right here, I've learned a couple new things. So thank you guys for the community for asking these questions, throwing them out there, because that's how I learn too. Because I don't always know what to ask. So your guys' participation is absolutely huge here.
It's 100% recommended. If you have a question that's been burning on the tip of your tongue or in the back of your brain, like a little spider bite itch that needs to be scratched, feel free to ask it. This is a safe place to do so. There is never going to be judgment for what others might consider to be a quote unquote stupid question. The only stupid question is one that you don't ask.
Well said, sir. And if we do run out of time, guys, definitely jump in the Down Home Crypto Discord. Right there's the link in the chat. Jump in there, ask the crew, because Cyril hangs out there, Yabonks hangs out there. I'm there all the time. There's a bunch of us, and there's all kinds of great people willing to answer anything. And there is no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupidity is if you refuse to ask. That's the only time anybody's being stupid, is if you don't know something and you don't ask it.
So for the ladies listening, it's like when your guy refuses to stop and ask for directions because he'll find it. Well, I guess that was more of a problem back in the old day. Now we just have Google Maps, right?
Exactly. It's on my phone. And it's the funny part, because I was always the person to ask directions. I have no problem. Because literally, you could put me in my living room, spin me around twice, and I'm lost. I have a horrible sense of direction. Yeah, I am not that guy.
Well, let's go ahead and do the drawing.
Okay. $20, and Yvonne said that was BUSD, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so by the way, you cannot win the giveaway twice in a row. So just want to throw that out there. If it is drawn the same person, then I'm sorry, we will respin. I want to keep fair, and I want to spread the love, guys.
Spread the love.
Okay, guys, gals, cats, dogs, all other small farm animals, let's win some money. We ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and big money, no whammies. And the winner is.
Who will it be?
I'm waiting to see you bonks it. Selman Buskert. Selman, congratulations, Selman. So definitely, like I said before, take a screenshot of your YouTube account. Send me a DM in Discord verifying that you're watching this stream and it is your YouTube account on your Discord. Shoot me a DM with your wallet address and I will get that sent over to you.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Mickey Mouse. Selman Buskert.
And before Disney comes and sues you for using Mickey Mouse as a display profile picture. Since we were talking about suing in the beginning, right? And Disney is infamous for that.
They are very big for that one. So, no, I think we've pretty much covered everything. And Cyril is going to get that transfer, going to get that in. And so, yes, on next week's, we will see exactly how that stands, where we're at. But Cyril, now, can somebody go in and check out this spreadsheet? Can they track this to verify that, yes, all this is being done? And do you have a link for that so they can go in and monitor that themselves?
Yeah. So the link is in Serenity's Discord. So make sure that you join if you want to go check that all out, see the sheet for yourself, see it when I update it, etc. I highly recommend that you go and you do that, because you're missing out if you're not in his Discord. You need to get your votes in, because that's how we decide, right? And then I'll answer Ag's question in the comments prior to heading out of here, because I'm starving. Ag says, I decided to place one trade at the time and cash out minimum 20% or stop the loss at negative 10%. And I give myself a plus or minus limit and a 24 to 48 time frame, max of 7 days for each trade. Is that any good? I think that it is a well-defined rule set, but you also need to understand the markets will not always move on your time frame. So time frame is not necessarily something that you want to judge it on, right? It could take days, it could take weeks for it to really move. If you're looking to trade momentum, and it's moving rather quickly, then yes, absolutely give yourself that time break. But I think your 20% gain, stop it at a 10% loss. I think that's a very, very solid approach for consistently taking profits and growing, because you only got to win one trade and it will float you through 2 losses, right? So that's what's referred to as the risk to reward ratio. And having a good RR, some people just shorten it to R, that's your risk to reward. Having a good risk to reward ratio is very important, because if you're not specifically targeting, okay, if it comes down this much, I'm stopping myself out, well, then it could keep going down, and that one loss could wipe out 3 or 4 of your wins. So have a rule set, stick to it, and stay disciplined, because remember, patience and discipline are the 2 skills any trader needs in order to be successful. If you are missing either one of those, you will not be successful long term. And it's why over 80% of retail traders are not overall profitable in the markets.
Well said. And yeah, great question, Ags. And this is the man to know. So real quick, Cyril, how many years have you actually been trading? Just to refresh your memories.
Yeah, so I've been trading in stocks for about 14 years, in the Forex markets for 11 years, blue chip cryptos for almost 10 now, and in DeFi for almost 5.
Okay, so yes, if you guys have trading questions, you want to learn from the master, man has got a lot of experience. My hat's off to him. I am way too emotional to even contemplate it. I've tried, it's not pretty. So yeah, definitely jump to the Discord, talk to Cyril. And one other thing I want to point out here, guys, real quick, because I know Cyril's dying to go. But something I've never shared with a lot of people out there that you may not know. And guys, love you too. Thank you, buddy. In the Down Home Crypto Discord, there is a special area here called VIP Family. Now, just so you guys know, this is a, a subscribed section. I think it's $5 a month. But it's an area in which I put all the information the second I do something. So, for instance, here, the deck vault that I voted on, I posted this over a week ago. It was created. It was there and that I was doing. This is something that I try to make the close family always get the quickest, most pertinent information hot off the presses. So if you want to know what's going on behind the scenes, what's happening, what events are coming up, you're going to know about it here before you hear about it anywhere else. So if it's something you're interested in, great. It's not something you have to subscribe to. It's just one of those little bits of inside information. And yes, Mr. Cyril Keir here is a family member, and it's a place that he tends to put a little piece of information from time to time as well. 50 likes. Yay, we made 50, all right. Thanks, Taylor. So, guys, I think that about wraps it up. I know poor Cyril was starving to death. I want to say thank you so very much for everybody who tuned in. And we're going to do it every week until we hopefully are rich. So, thank you again. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.
Take care. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Cyril. Go get some food, my man. Take care.